This is a News 3 Now special report.
Thanks for watching this special report from Channel 3000. Here are the latest on the state election and the coronavirus pandemic. Two stories closely tied together this week. If you have not cast your ballot yet, here's what you need to know. Polling officials say as long as you're in line by 8 p.m., you'll be able to cast your ballot. We know voters were encouraged to vote absentee, and if you have an absentee ballot, it does have to be postmarked by today to be counted. Clerks will still be counting absentee ballots up until April 13th, but many of you told us you didn't get those absentee ballots in time. If that is you, your only option now is to physically go to your polling place, cast your ballot, and don't expect any results tonight. We have to wait and get those totals on Monday, April 13th. City of Milwaukee only operating 5 polling sites for today's primary. That's down from its usual number of roughly 180 due to the coronavirus. 80 to 100 poll workers at each site, about 30 National Guard members at each location as well. Workers were taking safety precautions, but they are still concerned.
So I'm really concerned with people that, are elderly, people that may be handicapped. There's those concerns for the people that are used to voting a typical way, and this is new. So not only do you have a new system, you have a new system during the pandemic.
Most of the sites in Milwaukee are reporting wait times from 1.5 hours to 2.5 hours. Lines stretch for several blocks as workers maintain social distancing between voters. Wisconsin Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos worked as a poll worker at a polling location in Burlington today during the pandemic. Through a number of court and executive orders, Vos and Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald maintained their position that the election should have been held today. Governor Evers released a statement about the election saying, quote, although I remain deeply concerned about the public health implications of voting in person today, I am overwhelmed by the bravery, resilience, and heroism of those who are defending our democracy by showing up to vote, working the polls, and reporting on the election. He went on to say, thank you for giving our state something to be proud of today. Please stay as safe as possible, Wisconsin. For those of you waiting when the doors opened at 7 this morning, sure looked different this year. We found some people waiting by the door to get in right away before any big crowds. This was outside the Madison Municipal Building. Extra precautions were taken, like staggering voting booths for social distancing standards. But volunteers like MARYBETH McGinnis, who's helped out at the polls many times before, found herself questioning the decision this year as she wore a shield to protect her face.
For this time around, I had a hard time deciding whether or not to be a poll worker. I think that this is pretty dangerous for myself and others, but the reality is most of our poll workers are a little older, and I think it's important for younger people to be able to donate their time.
MARYBETH says she was thankful to at least be stationed outside and felt like the city was trying its best to keep poll workers safe. 95 people have now died from COVID-19 in the state. That's 12 more than we were reporting last night and 18 more than we were reporting just yesterday morning. There are now more than 2,600 cases, 303 of those in Dane County. Lafayette County reported its first case today. Milwaukee County still with the most cases at 1,387. And the virus is disproportionately affecting African Americans in Milwaukee. Data showing 36 of the 51 who have died there were black. While yesterday's DHS summary showed 27% of those who tested positive required hospitalizations, that has now risen to 29%. There were more deaths from coronavirus in one day in New York than any other since the outbreak started. 731 people died in the state in 24 hours. The death toll in New York City alone is more than the number of deaths now as in the 9/11 attacks when almost 3,000 died. The number of hospitalizations went up again in New York, but the 3-day average is flattening a bit, a sign the state may be reaching its plateau. Down in Louisiana, more than 1,800 new cases were reported, bringing the total to nearly 15,000. Of that state's 512 deaths, 70% are African Americans.